Good morning, deep feelers. Genevieve here, and I wanted to talk about something this morning that is very common for deep feeling women who are stuck in small boxes, and that is what we call the mother wound. In my story, I was born very early. I was sick and I was in the hospital, and my mother struggled very much to come to terms with that. And so as a child, I would hear things like, "You don't know what it's like to leave your firstborn child in the hospital." And I would think, "You're right, I don't, because I'm 10 years old." My mother was a very strong woman, but she was a very fearful woman. She had a lot of fear around what would happen to me. And because of that, it was projected on to me. My mother was an abuse survivor. My mother had a lot of things in her life that made her feel less than, and that made her very critical of herself. This in turn made her incredibly critical of me as well. When I look back at it now, I know that it was coming from a place of love and coming from a place of protection and wanting to shield me from all the things that she had experienced in her life. What it did, though, for me was it made me super critical of myself, my body, my looks, things that I couldn't control, my metabolism. She would say things to me that were derogatory towards her. For instance, "You got my slow metabolism. You got my big nose." All those sorts of things that were more self-deprecating to her, but obviously to a child who didn't understand or didn't know that it was her being critical of her, it very much came as criticism of me, right? And so the relationship with my mother, as the years went on, got more and more difficult, got more and more strained, and to the point where I loved my mother very much, but I absolutely did not like my mother. And my mother passed away in 2015. She unfortunately was unable to alchemize or make friends with her shadow and succumbed to liver cirrhosis. If you also had a mother who was overly protective, or a helicopter parent as they call it now, you were also probably a little girl who just wanted her mother, who just wanted to be a child, and to be shown and given love in the way that you needed it to be. You were also probably extremely sensitive, and sensitive in the way of feeling your feelings and feeling the feelings of everyone around you. You just didn't know that that's what was happening. So when your mother was having her own issues, her own self-worth struggles, they became your self-worth struggles. They became your self-worth issues. And as you grew into who you were becoming, the love of the mother wasn't there. And so what happens is we start to look for it elsewhere. We may have an unhealthy relationship with our father. I considered myself to be daddy's girl for a very, very long time. And it wasn't until after he passed away in 2020 that I realized that our relationship was, while I was growing up, was imbalanced. My parents, while they, I think, cared and respected for each other, stayed in a marriage a lot longer than the feelings lasted. And so there was resentment and there was tension, and there were things that went on between them that as a child you don't understand logically, but your nervous system and your psychic empathy picked up on that. And when you don't know any better, and when you're not told any better, you internalize it and you think it's your fault. Spirit says to us today, you are absolutely capable, and you absolutely have the power to break free of the patterns that you have built around you as protection since you were that little girl who was absorbing the emotions, the anger, the tension, the sadness of the household that you lived in. Now, this isn't to say that every moment was bad. This isn't to say that there wasn't good times and there wasn't joy and there wasn't happiness. But I have a feeling that if you feel deeply, there's a lot of your childhood that you may actually not remember. And the stuff that you do remember seems a little fuzzy. And that's your nervous system. That's your mind trying to protect you. Shutting out the things that don't serve us so we can go on surviving. But I'm here to tell you that survival isn't your natural state. It's not how you're meant to live. You are meant to thrive. You are meant to live in joy and ease. And you are meant to feel. You are meant to feel all the things. But you're meant to feel them for a purpose. And that purpose is to learn to heal the things that you hold inside of you so that you can help others heal as well. I have a feeling you are probably already a counselor for those that you love, but you have a hard time uplifting yourself. You have a hard time speaking nicely to yourself because you hold yourself to a higher standard. Because when you were a child, you felt like you had to be something different, better than you were. When we grow up in the mother wound, there's a lot of performance in our life. It starts very young, and so you could have felt like you had to be at the very best at the things that you do. For example, I played the piano, I was a singer, I had horses and was a competitive equestrian growing up. And all of these things, I never felt like I was good enough. And I felt like I was always training to be better at something in order to feel loved and accepted or worthy or deserving. So if this is you, stick around. I'm glad that you're here. Let's just breathe. In through the nose and out through the mouth. You are worthy of your own love. You are deserving. And it's time. You found me because it's time. So let's take the journey together. It's a beautiful day here in central Minnesota. Let's pull a card for the day. Spirit, what is it that deep feelers need to know today? Don't give up. Don't give up. The scales are turning. Balance is returning. Now is the time for deep feelers, for healers, for those with a fire in their soul but a pain in their heart to awaken. And you found me because it's your time. I'm glad you're here. Have a good day.